Hello, this is Carl from National RV Detroit, and I'm going to show you through your new Kodiak 420 BHSL. We'll start here on the door side at the rear. We'll start at the very back. You've got a swing out grill mount right here. Okay. You have to plug the grill in, so down here below is this quick connect. You get a hose with it, of course, and it connects to your grill and to this port here that'll draw right from your LP tank. So you push this back and push the male fitting in there on the hose and connect it, and then you'll turn it on like that to get gas. Okay? Alright. This is a small dorm refrigerator, works on 110 AC. It turns on as soon as you plug the trailer in. You've got some running water here, hot and cold. You've got a power awning with a LED strip. This is the service panel for your refrigerator. You don't really have to go in here, it's just for service. Now, this hose should always be sticking out like that. It's to drain the condensation from your refrigerator, so it always should be out like that so you can drain outside of the trailer. This is your furnace vent here. Down here on each corner you have one of these stabilizers. This is a automatic stabilizer system by Lippert called ground control. It auto levels the trailer. Okay, I'll go more into that in a little bit. This is your water heater. The tank is on the back of this basically. This works on both gas and electric. Right now it's empty, which I really wanted to show you. There's the plug right there, or the drain, excuse me, right there, and this is the plug, if I can get it here. So basically, to drain it, you just take that plug out. Before you pull the plug, always do this and let the pressure out of the water heater first so it doesn't come spraying out and hose you down. This has to be, when you winterize, you have to bypass this. I'll go over this a little more inside the trailer, but basically what it comes down to is you can't get antifreeze inside the water heater because it'll leave a really foul taste and a bad smell. So they put bypass valves on the back. So when you're winterizing the trailer, before you pump antifreeze into it, you'll bypass it by turning the valves in the back, which I'll show you. Okay. Also, this is to fill the freshwater demand tank. The reason you would use this is if you're at an older state park that has a fill station when you first go in, but it does not have plumbing on the campsite. So therefore you can use the onboard pump and pump your own water. So you can still camp even if it doesn't have city water. You still can use the shower and the sink and everything else. Okay, that's a mount for a TV, power for a TV, and that is a hookup for the antenna for your TV if you want to hang one outside. Okay, this is your range hood vent. You can reach up inside here, if you can see, and you can pull this baffle open. So if you're going to use the vent, let me step back a minute, you'll open that up so it flaps freely, but if you're not going to use it, you'll just keep it shut. You never drive down the road, for example, with it open like that. You're just going to push it shut, okay? Outside speakers, I might have mentioned. Let's see here. This is your hitch. We'll go over this when we show you how to hitch up. But this is a Husky centerline hitch with a built-in sway control. So you can always go to Husky Centerline and look at their online videos to refresh your memory if you need to. If you have any questions or you're not sure that you're doing it right, you can always double check looking at their videos. That is just a control panel for your touch panel for your monitors inside the trailer. This is a hookup for a solar battery charger. This one's made by Furion. I don't know if you can see that very well, but basically you can buy a solar panel, and if it has this plug on it, you can plug it in there and it will charge your battery. That's just an option. You have a deep cycle marine battery, two 20-pound LP tanks. Let me get over to the other side here. This is a regulator for the LP gas. Oh, I got a bad shadow there. Right there. It'll draw the door side tank down first, then the off door side tank here. It's automatic. This is just a gauge. You can look in this little glass here. It's very difficult to see, I know. Let me go back to the other side, see if I can get it without a shadow. That's a little bit better. So you can basically point it at the tank you want to check, and it'll tell you whether it's full or empty just by the color, whether it's red or green. Okay, you got a power tongue jack. just up and down. And you've got a hitch light here also. Okay. You also have hitch lights here, which you operate from a switch that's inside here, which is it's on the other side. I don't know if you can see it, but it's on the door side of the pass-through there. Okay. This panel is for your auto level system. All the directions are right below it. You can also go to Lippert and look at the online videos. I'm sure they have them on YouTube also. It's probably linked to YouTube. But basically, you'll turn it on here. You can push auto level right here, and it'll automatically level the trailer. It takes a while, and if you watch the display, it'll tell you what it's doing, which jacks it's adjusting, and that sort of thing. You can retract it by pushing retract right here, right? And then you can, you can scroll through this little LED display here. You can scroll through by going up and down, and you'll basically go to hitch height, return to hitch height, I might say, something like that, and you'll press enter, and it'll basically retract your jacks, and it'll put your tongue at the position it was when you unhooked it. So it always remembers the last hitch height, right? So it'll always put it back to the height it was when you first leveled it, which makes it real convenient to hook back up. Okay. Let's see here. This is a little adapter for your power cord. I'm trying to get a good picture of it with the sun glaring here. Basically, what this does is reduces your 30 amp cord down to the regular 15-20 amp that you can plug in at home. Just remember, if you plug in at home, you can use everything in the trailer except the air conditioner, because the air conditioner draws almost 30 amps when the compressor's running. So that would eventually pop a circuit breaker at home. So you can use everything in the trailer when you're plugged in at home except the air conditioner. This is your hose for your dump station. Okay, you've got a slide out here. This particular brand is called an AccuSlide, just so you know. If you want to learn more about it, you just can search AccuSlide. Okay, now I showed you the fill on the other side for the potable water, for the fresh water. This is the one this is the city water hookup, and you use this most of the time because most campgrounds have regular city water. You're just going to put the hose on there, turn it on, and you're all set. The whole trailer's pressurized. This is where your power cord goes. This is our cord, but your cord is inside the trailer. The cords are 25 feet long and 30 amps, like I stated. This is just a spray port. You get a sprayer with it, and you can spray things down with it. This is cable through to the inside of the trailer, if you've got campground cable. Okay, and this is where you will dump the trailer. So basically, you've got gray dump valve and a black dump valve. The black dump valve is toilet water and waste, and the gray valve is sink and shower water. So what you'll do is you'll unhook this cap here, like so. You'll put the hose on here. The other end goes into the dump station. Then you're going to pull the black valve. The black valve will dump the toilet water and waste. Then you'll pull the gray one, because the gray water is cleaner than the black water, basically, and it'll clean out the hose somewhat. Then you can come up here. This has a feature called a black tank flush. It's right here above the city water. You'll hook your hose up here at the dump station and turn it around, and the black tank has like a sprinkler jet inside, or a jet inside that sprays the inside of the tank to clean it out, and it keeps your sensors real clean so you can get a good reading on your monitor panel. It's a very good thing to use this. You don't have to, but I suggest you do, because it makes a big difference in keeping your black tank clean. Okay, just like it says here, remember to always have the black tank valve open before you turn the water on, because you don't want to build up too much pressure. Okay, so up here, that little hook up there is for basically a backup camera. It's a housing that fits a Furrion type camera. If you get one of these, this is pre-wired for it. That's why it has the housing on it. So all you have to do is plug it in. but you've got to get the camera that fits inside this housing made by Furrion. We sell them here at National RV, that's so you can basically, when you turn your running lights on, you can see behind you. You can back up, or you can leave them on when you're going down the road to see behind you. Some people love them. Also, while I'm looking up at the roof, I want to tell you that like all other trailers, this trailer has to be inspected. It's best to do it 3 times a year. In the spring, when you're de-winterizing, you want to go up on the roof and look around. In the fall, when you winterize it, you want to go up there and look around, and then once in the middle of the summer. Basically, you're going to look at all the seals. It has a lap sealant on the roof. And you're going to look at all the seals to make sure there's no separation starting. Sometime, you're going to see separation starting. And then you're going to have to get maintenance done on it. You could do it yourself, or you can have it done. But the bottom line is, you have to inspect it. Odds are you're not going to have to do anything for a long time, but you inspect it just to make sure, okay? You don't want to get water inside the trailer, so you have to inspect it. All trailers are the same. All trailers you have to inspect. Alright, so we'll go inside now, like so. Okay, so when you first get into the door, you have this touch panel. Turn it on. The default passcode is, I believe on this one, let me make sure, I'm going to try 4 zeros. I can't remember which one this one is, so that's not it. So if it's not 4 zeros, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was it right there. So you can turn on all your lights, like with one master switch right here. So if I push it on, it turns them all on. You can do them independently too, right? You can turn your water pump on here. Remember I told you about if you have if you're using the demand tank because you don't have city water on the campsite, you can use this pump. You turn on your water heater here. Okay, and to go into different pages, you see the button here with the pages, and you can access the different features, checking levels of your tanks. Okay, this one scrolls up a bit. Okay, let me see here. That's a black tank. Awning light, there we go. So that one scrolls up, and you can see the main slide out, in and out here. I'm going to bring it in here. Normally I start with it in and then just show you how it comes out, but I'll have to bring it in and out because I forgot to bring it in before I started the video. You just make sure there's no doors open, no cabinet doors, nothing in the way. And you'll hear it slow down and come to a stop, and then when you hear that, you take your finger off the button. There we go. And to go out, you're just going to go to the out button, obviously, and then back out it goes. Okay. There you have it. Okay, so the awning, it has a power awning, so I won't be able to go all the way out probably because we're too close to the next trailer, but you push out and it'll start rolling out. Okay, you can see it going out. Now I won't be able to get it out all the way, but basically as it unrolls, you'll watch the awning tube there, and eventually the fabric will roll out and you'll see the awning tube. When you see the awning tube, that's when you stop. So it's one thing you have to remember is you never leave this out unattended. So if you're leaving the campsite, you're going to roll it in, and otherwise the wind can do some damage to it. So you always want to keep it in unless you're at the campsite, because the wind can come up pretty quick. And there you have it. Okay. Alright, I'll just glance into your bedroom here. This is your grill. It will be assembled by the time you pick your trailer up. You have a foot locker underneath your bed here. You can see you can pull it up. I can't really show you with one hand here, but it comes up in their storage. You've got two sliding doors that close off the bedroom, a vent up here, and storage. Over on this side is an escape window in case of an emergency. I'll show you how that works real quick. Basically, just to use it for ventilation, well, let me show you over here. Remember, I'm working a camera here. You'll put it out like that and you can have regular ventilation. Now, if you want to escape an emergency, you can just grab a hold of this tab and the screen will come out. It's just held in by clips. Then you would just push this all the way through and you would just jump out, roll out, whatever you got to do to get out, okay? And the screen can be put back in. It just pushes back in, so it's no big deal, okay? All right. Sink works like any other sink. The microwave works like any other microwave. The range hood I told you about, I showed you the vent on the outside. There's the fan and the light. Okay, the range is gas, and you spark it to light it. So, what I'll do is you just turn on, this is the center burner there, turn it on, and you go over here to the sparker. Rotate it. Whoops, let me get a couple of mine to get gas up here because I had it shut off. So there you go, that one lit. Now as you go, you don't have, as you use it, once you've been using it, it'll light real quick, the first click. But because I had the gas shut off and the tanks off, it takes a while for the lines to get filled with gas. There we go. And there's your other one. Now the oven is a little different. I'll have to explain it to you. If you look back here, underneath the bottom here, there's a pilot light back there. So you need a grill lighter, right? You'll take your grill lighter, then you'll turn this to pilot, right? Then you depress it, hold it depressed, and then you'll light back there you'll light the pilot light. When it lights, you hold it, still hold it in for about 10 seconds or so until it heats up, and then you go to the operating temperature you want. And it'll cycle like a regular oven, but when you go back to off, the flame goes off, and so does the pilot light. So you have to light the pilot light each time you use it. Okay, this is your refrigerator. It's a gas absorption refrigerator made by Dometic. I told you had a hose for the sprayer. There it is right there, so you know. All right. You have a decent sized freezer here. Okay, so this refrigerator is a gas absorption type refrigerator, so it'll work on electric, 110 AC, or it'll work on gas. Basically, to turn it on, you're going to go like that. It turns it on. You see the light came on. You push the button in. Let me do it again. I don't know if you can see that. You push this button in, so auto lights up. Auto means electricity. The reason they call it auto is because if you're plugged in at the campground and you have a power failure, it'll automatically switch over to gas, right? So you're always going to have it on there. You can turn it on dedicated to gas just by doing that. If this check light comes on, it means that it faulted, it didn't light, so you would just shut it off and turn it on and get it right through the cycle to make sure the gas gets through the line, okay? But normally you're going to have it on auto. One last thing, this thing here is called a thermistor. You can see it's like a clip on that fin there. Let me see if I can show you right there. You slide that up. The higher you go with it, the cooler the refrigerator gets. So generally you're going to have it up all the way, except if you're going out when it's, in the really early spring or late fall or something, you might have to back it down a bit if it frosts up, but generally it's going to be up all the way. Now this gas absorption works like a regular refrigerator, but it takes a long time to reach operating temperature. So it's good to start it a day in advance, just to make sure it's nice and cool for when you're ready. Okay? Now, I can't explain the whole winterizing process to you, but I will give you a basic idea of what we're talking about here. I don't know if you've owned a trailer before or not, so what we're looking at here is the back of the water heater. We're right below the range. You can see over here this panel is here. I took the panel off. It's held on with 4 screws, like this one. You can see it's a number 2, let me just focus it here, I can't really focus it, number 2 square-headed screw. All the screws are like that in this trailer, so you always have to get a bit for your drill with a number 2 square bit, okay? So you take the panel off, And this is your bypass valve for this water heater. Whichever way this handle is, whatever line it's parallel with is the line that's open. So right now, it's parallel with this line, which goes to the regular water system, and the water goes this way. Let me follow my finger here. The water goes this way, and then into the water heater, heats up, and then comes back out up here, right there. Okay, so right now it's regular camping mode. It's ready to be used. Now before, I told you could bypass this refrigerator, so before you actually pump any antifreeze into it, you would change the position of this, right? So now it's lined up with this line here, which runs between the cold line and the hot line. It's called a bypass line, right? So now if water tried to come into it, into the water heater, it couldn't get past this valve. So it has to turn and go up this way and loop around. Therefore, the antifreeze bypasses the water heater. So it goes every place in the system except in the water heater. You always have to do that. It always has to be bypassed when you're putting antifreeze in the system or when there's antifreeze in the system, okay? To learn to winterize it, you're going to have to educate yourself a little bit, talk to other campers, look at YouTube videos, that sort of thing. But you will put this hose, it's hard for me to do this myself here, so hold on. You'll take this hose, this will go into a gallon of antifreeze, basically. You'll turn on your water pump at the panel, which I showed you earlier, and if you change, there's a valve. You have to trust me on this because you're not going to be able to see it. I got my flashlight here, maybe I can get enough light back there to see. It's very difficult. Anyway, if you follow this line right here, there's a valve, and you can either select the freshwater tank. If you do that, then when you turn on the pump, it'll draw water from the freshwater tank. If you put it in the other position where the handle of the valve is parallel with this hose right here, it will draw from this hose. So basically you put it in that position and then you'll draw the antifreeze with the pump right into the system, and that's how you winterize it. But you always bypass the water heater first. Like I said, I can only go generally into it. You'll have to learn a bit more on your own or have somebody else do it. Talk to other campers, friends, watch videos. It's not difficult. It's very simple. Okay? All right. This is the power converter. And this turns AC power into DC power. So some things have to run on AC power in here, like the air conditioning or the microwave. So you've got regular household circuit breakers, 110 AC. Then the power is converted down to 12 volt DC over here. You got automotive fuses, which are 12 volt DC. And you can see they're labeled also, and so are the circuit breakers. So it converts the AC power down to DC power. Everything that can run on DC power in this trailer does. The lights, the pumps, the motors, things like that. Everything that can run on DC power does. Some things have to be AC, like I stated earlier. Also, if one of these fuses will blow, it'll light up, and you can see it through this tinted plastic here when it's closed, okay? Another thing to know about this is it's a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery has up front, and if it's totally charged, it'll trickle a couple amps up to it. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs to keep it plugged in. As long as, or I mean, to keep it charged, as long as the trailer's plugged in, right? So when this is plugged in, it will always keep your battery charged. When you're pulling it, your tow vehicle will keep the battery charged. Okay. Another exit escape window here on the lower bunk. Okay. All right. This table turns into a bed. You just pull the poles out, put them in, stow them in the drawers here, and then drop it down, the table down on these cleats right here, right like that. Then you'll fill in the gaps with the other cushions, the back cushions, and you got a bed. So you got two bunks, a bed here, plus the master. So you got a lot of room. Excuse my camera work. This is the carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like that. That's a safety device. If it goes off, you definitely take note. You go outside the trailer, you turn off the gas, and figure out what's going on. Okay, you have in the bathroom you have a vent and a fan. Always run the fan when you take a shower to pull the moisture out. Okay, let me get some light in here. This Gfci plug here, all the plugs, even the one on the outside, are wired through this one. So if you use a coffee pot outside and it pops, the Gfci, it's always this is always where you reset it, okay? The shower works like any other shower. It's got a skylight. Sink works like any other sink. The toilet, this is a nice one. It's actually ceramic. Okay, so there's no water hooked, city water hooked up right now, so there's no pressure. So basically, right below here, when I open the trap here, that's the black tank I spoke about. It's directly below it. So the bottom line is you can't use this dry. So the first time you use it when you hook up at the campsite, you're going to put some chemical right here in the toilet. Liquid, powder, and pre-measured packets. There's a zillion different kinds out there. Whichever kind you use, read the directions and find out how much to put in. You'll put it there, then you'll stand on this pedal and you'll let the water run, because the water's going to be swirling in there, and you put about a gallon or two in there. There's no way to tell that what a gallon or two is. You just use experience. You know, you do it a few times, you get an idea. The bottom line is it can't be dry when you first start using it. So then you can use it normally till it fills. The tank fills, it goes past 2/3, you know it's time to dump it. And if you're going to stay on the same campsite after you dump it, then you would repeat this procedure. Put some chemical in there and a gallon or two of water. Okay, one other thing, when you flush it, it's only going to fill about this full with water, right? Before you use it, if you look, there's a foot pedal here. I don't know if I showed you that. And it opens it, obviously. Let me turn it this way. But there's a spot here where I can pump the pedal down and the trap doesn't open. That will allow you to fill the bowl with water. So you just hold it down. You can put as much water as you want in there. It's up to you. And then you can use the toilet. But the bottom line is you have to fill it to the level of water you want to use it each time before you use it, because it's only going to automatically fill about right to there. Okay? Hopefully I explained that okay. All right. So I mentioned inspecting the roof. That's very important. You have also, there's a video and power, and you can hook up, there's a backing plate right here in the bedroom. You can put a TV. You need a swing out bracket for this one. Okay. Your TV works like any other TV. Your radio plays CDs and DVDs. It'll stream off this USB here. It has Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or your tablet. And there's two zones, zone 1 and 2. 2 is outside, 1 is inside. And then it has regular features like a radio. And you have a TV remote here and your radio remote. Okay. Over here, this is the signal booster for the antenna. You always want to have it turned on. You can't see it very well here, but it's green right now. If I was to push this button, it'll shut it off. But you want it to be green, or else you won't get a good picture. With it on, it works really well, and it'll scan anything over the air you'll be able to pick up with your TV. And that's basically where you hook things up. You'll have to educate yourself a little bit on that. But I guess that's basically it. You check your levels here. Remember it was 1, 2, 3, 4 on this one, temporary. You can change it. So let me push the page button. Okay, I want to get this right here. No, I don't want to save changes because I didn't mean to change anything. And that's how you check your levels. Basically, it'll fill up, or these will light up and move to the right as it fills up. Okay. So you'll be able to tell when it gets full, when all of them are solid. That means that all the circles are solid. That means it's full. Okay. All right. I hope I explained all this okay to you. If not, you can call us and we can talk you through things. We'll do whatever we can to help you out. I know these are unusual times. Normally I would walk you through this and answer all your questions, but we'll get through it and we'll work with you on it if you have any questions, okay? Thank you very much for purchasing from National RV Detroit, and goodbye.